Tesla just made a move that was shocking for me to see, but first let's go through two major announcements from Elon Musk. Elon Musk announced today during his visit to Giga Berlin that a 25,000 euro Tesla will be built here. Previously, it was rumored that 2 million a year will be built in Giga Mexico, 1 million in China, and then 1 million a year in Giga Berlin. And now it is official that Tesla will actually build that vehicle in Giga Berlin as well. Until now, it was all just rumors. Elon has just made a new announcement. He says that tomorrow xAI will release its first AI to a select group. In some important respects, it is the best that currently exists. Make no mistake, this is actually, I believe, quite beneficial to Tesla. Tesla and xAI will work together closely. If you look at xAI's website, it does say that xAI does work with Tesla closely. So this is great news. And this is shocking to see. This is a job posting from Tesla. Engineering technician, Tesla bot, night shift. Tesla is recruiting engineers to work on the bot during the night and not just during the day. Tesla is really focused and is trying really hard to make this work as soon as possible. I am not entirely sure why someone would work during the night on the bot. Maybe they have a limited number of bots and only so many people can work on one bot at any given time, so maybe during the night they can basically accelerate their progress. I'm not really sure, but what I am sure of is that Tesla is exceeding my expectations here. I am seriously shocked to see this. Jeff says this means they are accelerating development and testing around the clock to get the Tesla bot out. Also, much more efficient use of capital, even in prototyping using on multiple shifts. Well done, Tesla. Well done. Business Insider found 7 Tesla workers who are not sure about a union. Workers selected in interview process for dislike of unions. Dislike unions. On the same article, Tesla still very much has a startup culture, and that's a lot different than a union culture, one Tesla worker at the Fremont factory told Insider. I think people join Tesla because they want to work hard. They want to push themselves. They want to find ways to stand out by going above and beyond, and that's difficult to do in a union. That kind of person probably wouldn't even make it through the interview process, a Tesla engineer said. Based on this, even if they try to unionize, I don't think they will be successful because the employees seemingly do not want to unionize. UAW President Shawn Fain is confident he can take on Tesla and its anti-union CEO Elon Musk, who actually works a lot. And so do the people, which is why they don't want to unionize, because they actually want to work hard. We can beat anybody, Fain said in an interview today. It's going to come down to the people that work for him deciding if they want their fair share. Which is exactly why they will not unionize, because if they unionize, Tesla will attract people that want to work in a union environment where you don't get paid overall as much if you work really hard. Fain continues, or if they want him to fly himself to outer space at their expense, he said, I believe it's doable. This sounds more like Shawn Fain wanting his fair share of Tesla stock without having to work for it. Farzad is on to something here. Elon Musk is visiting Giga Berlin today, and he wants to congratulate the team on their excellent progress. The factory looks amazing, and they want to cover all the concrete with art. Giga Berlin, Elon says, is the jewel of Germany. I agree. Sweden's dock workers threatened to block Tesla shipments in support of the strike. The strike was called in response to Tesla's refusal to sign a collective bargaining agreement, but the majority of Tesla employees chose not to participate in the walkout. If they really want to support the workers, I don't think they would try to support the union here, because the workers are choosing not to participate in the strike. And this looks very real. The Swedish Transport Workers Union, representing 57,000 members in the transport industry, has issued a blockade threat in support of the strike by the IF Metal Union. The plan is set to start on November 7th, potentially resulting in a complete stop to Tesla imports across 4 ports. The union says the strike will continue until an agreement is reached. That's the union that asked Tesla employees to strike. However, if local reports are true, that only a minority of employees are actually striking, it may continue for a while because in reality there is no actual strike because no one is doing it. What a weird situation. Relatively to the US, Sweden is a tiny country, so if all of the ports, let's say, blockade Tesla, I think it would still be okay because you can just get the cars to Oslo, Norway, and I think you can just put them on trucks and then get them to wherever you need to transport them. It would be more expensive, of course, but it's not the end of the world for Tesla's presence in Sweden. Sweden currently ranks as Tesla's 5th largest market in Europe, so it's a relatively important place for Tesla in Europe, but it's not crucial. Here are best-selling vehicles in California year to date. Model Y is number 1, which outsold the top 2 best-selling Toyotas combined in California. Wow. And this includes gas-powered vehicles. If you combine the Model Y plus Model 3 sales, they sold twice the number of cars of places 3 to 15 combined. Impressive. Tesla suppliers from Asia are preparing for a Gigafactory in Mexico, stated the municipality's mayor. There are multiple companies that are coming to that location, and each company plans to start construction on their respective projects in Mexico by 2024. So clearly, progress is still being made at Giga Mexico because suppliers will be important to Tesla. Tesla has launched its virtual power plant program in Puerto Rico, meaning 75,000 Powerwall owners can now get paid to support the grid. This will make it the largest virtual power plant ever. That should help Tesla Powerwall sales. Even Drew Baglino, who is one of the top Tesla executives, posted about this. He usually doesn't post much of anything online, really. Megapack margins now exceed automotive margins, and $500 million worth of Tesla Megapacks were spotted just now at the Lathrop Megafactory today. It seems like the factory is scaling fine. I think in the long term, Tesla's energy business will surprise many Tesla investors. Don't say I didn't warn you. Q3 overall was pretty good for Tesla's energy business, but Q4, says James, should be epic. Someone actually counted all of the Megapacks. Supposedly, there are 337 of them in total. Yesterday, we got the good news about Starlink starting to make money, and many Tesla stock investors say they would actually want to invest some money in SpaceX or Starlink. I think that would create an interesting conundrum for Tesla, though, because many Tesla stock investors would sell some of their Tesla stock to invest in Starlink or SpaceX, which would probably force Tesla stock to go down, at least in the short term, a little bit, because there would be so many people selling Tesla stock temporarily. It's something to keep in mind, but many, I think, will not necessarily sell their Tesla stock, but will just, instead of buying more Tesla stock, they will just start buying SpaceX or Starlink stock. Scrap Cybertruck body was spotted today at Tesla's Fremont factory in this new drone video, but like Sandy Monroe said earlier, that's typical and that's normal, so this is nothing bad. We will continue seeing things like this for a little while, but once the production actually ramps up and everything is in place and optimized, then we won't really see this as much. Tesla is currently constructing this huge rooftop solar system on its Giga Texas factory, which would be the largest in the world when complete. Tesla officials said it will have 70,000 panels. Razad says, man, they really need to get these Tesla fires under control. Toyota recalls nearly 1.9 million RAV4s to fix batteries that can move during hard turns and cause a fire. Yeah, if you can't handle these small batteries, no wonder why you wouldn't want these big, massive EV batteries in your vehicles.
Hi, I'm a Tesla Model Y.
And I'm a Toyota RAV4, and I don't catch on fire and blow up like those Teslas do.
Wait, aren't cars with gasoline 60 times more likely to catch fire than battery electric cars?
Yes, but I come in a hybrid version.
Wait a sec. So that makes you 140 times more likely to catch fire. At least that's what Kelly Blue Book says.
Let me see that.
This billionaire has done some AI math from today's baseline. His numbers are, wow. Chips improve by 2x next year. Models improve by 2x next year. CapEx scales capacity by 10x next year. It means, he says, that whatever you see today will be 40 times better in a year and another 20 to 40 times better a year after that. So we can expect 800 to 1,600x by 2026. What won't be possible is probably the better question. Now, these numbers look really big, but also, I mean, a year ago, ChatGPT basically came out, and in a year, did it get something like 40 times better? It got a little bit better. And ChatGPT 4 compared to ChatGPT 3 is definitely noticeably better. I use it almost every day. But it's not tens of times better. For me personally, it's maybe 50% better. So it used to suck in many regards. Now it just sucks less, but it still sucks in many regards. But it's good enough that I actually use it pretty often. Troy did a poll. Which one is a better name for this website, twitter.com/X? And it's sort of even almost. Gary says he liked the Twitter brand and what the little bluebird conveyed, but then again, I'm a brand guy. X means mystery, forbidden, and porn. I get that X is evolving toward a platform, but destroying dollars, billions of dollars in brand value escapes me. There's no verb to replace tweet. I think if you only look a few years out, it's a bad decision. But if you look 20 years out, I think overall it's going to be at least slightly better. This is assuming that Elon will turn X into the everything app. And it's true that tweets are now replaced by posts, but I think it's also quite silly to call a thing like this, which is super long. I think it's silly to call that a tweet. When I think of a tweet, I think of something really short and not of something that'll take me 20 minutes to read and study and understand. The Biden administration is launching talks with solar energy companies and nonprofit groups in Puerto Rico on awards of up to $440 million for rooftop solar and battery storage systems in the Commonwealth. Maybe Tesla is going to get a piece of that too. That would be good news. But this article does not have a single mention of Tesla. NIO denied the rumor yesterday, which is officially confirmed 1 day later. Tesla is to blame as it started the price war. The Chinese EV upstart NIO plans to cut workforce by 1/10. Here's the rumor from yesterday. Like I said yesterday, it all starts with a rumor first, and sometimes it's true. In this case, it turned out to be true 1 day later. Despite much higher interest rates, year to date, the auto industry in the US actually has grown 7.5% so far. But also remember that after the pandemic, the industry really suffered, so we are not really still back to all of these previous all-time highs. So I don't think it's an entirely fair comparison. But yes, compared to last year, we are growing. Oh, Lucid issues another round of massive price cuts on Air sedans. Now, it's one thing to do a price cut when you are already profitable, and it's another thing to do a price cut when you are on the verge of bankruptcy. Lucid is actually up a little bit today, but if you look at the last 12 months, the trend is very clear, and it is down. Now, Lucid is really proud of their quality, so let's take a look at an experience from an actual owner.
The quality in our Lucid Air has not held up great over the last 15,000 miles. We have lots of squeaks and rattles and things that move that just shouldn't. For example, the A-pillar jiggles a lot. This button has a ton of play in it, and this isn't actually doing anything. That's just how much movement it has before it's actually activated. The steering wheel squeaks when you turn it. Also, the rear headliner loves to pop out of place, as you can see here. And when it's not popped out of place, it's just held up by a little piece of Velcro.
Ray, though, says, to be fair, his 2015 Model S had some fit and finish issues when it first was picked up, but it was corrected by Tesla under warranty. You wonder why this Lucid Air has not been taken back for repair. Or maybe it was already serviced under warranty. These are awesome, says Elon. SpaceX has started shipping its Starship torches. That's pretty cool. Maybe I should get one. With Starlink and SpaceX potentially going public later, maybe I should start covering SpaceX/Starlink news when there is some, just to get all of us really familiar with what SpaceX is up to and what it is doing. I would put these at the end of the videos though.
What needs to happen for Tesla to kind of turn the narrative around since earnings?
The stock's been hit really hard over the last few months, but we view this as a buying opportunity. Really, the whole industry's been hit from the UAW strikes. Even though it doesn't affect Tesla, there's been some other headwinds, mainly related to EV adoption in general, which have really weighed on Tesla. And really, it wasn't a great earnings call that they just had, raising some red flags about the Cybertruck, what the margins on that vehicle might look like, and then the production ramp. So, but we really view the concerns as overblown here. Tesla already had a 35 to 40% labor cost advantage over the Detroit 3. And with this new deal that we expect to be ratified later this month, their labor cost advantage is going to widen much more than that. So we think Tesla still represents one of the best earnings growth stories in this industry, and we're buyers at these levels.
I'm a buyer at these levels too. I dollar cost average, and we are also now learning that Tesla employees, even when ordered by their union in Sweden, refuse to strike. And people in the US that work for Tesla, they also don't want to strike. They don't even want to join a union. That's an advantage that I think is still underappreciated by some.
I was kind of surprised. Well, I guess maybe not surprised, but I thought it was the move was interesting. The way Tesla shares got punished on earnings, despite the fact we all knew about their price cuts, and how illuminating those earnings were in terms of post-price cuts and margin contraction. The Tesla's margins still are better than their peers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked to me like both their gross and operating margins were at least on par, if not better, than GM and Ford's from the previous quarter. And I didn't look to see GM and Ford after they reported, but that margin comparison, does it favor Tesla?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
their margins have been much better than the
Even
Detroit
after the
3.
cuts.
Even after the cuts, much
Amazing.
better.
I mean, how is that not like kind of the where the rubber meets the road right now? I mean, they've got the scale for EVs, they've got the tech, and it'd be one thing if like legacy players had some great EV supply chain they could, they already built out or something, but it just seems like the margin is a huge element here.
Absolutely.
And I believe in many ways Tesla is still just getting started. They are still working on reducing costs. They are looking at the smallest of the tiniest details, like the QR codes. They're removing these that you put on a part because maybe sometimes you can't even use it because it gets crumbled and you can't even scan it properly. Tesla is playing this game of pennies, and Tesla is pretty good at it. This culture will continue. And especially in the US, all of these other automakers, because they have to pay more for their union workers, and even worse, the union attracts a certain kind of worker that is not going to focus on innovating, which creates this downward spiral, making the company even worse. I don't see much of a problem of having a union in an industry that's stagnant already, but if you are going through a major shift in the industry, yeah, if your company has a union, it will struggle.
And if you look at the EV, who's producing EVs, we think Tesla is one of the only companies that's actually making money in EVs, and they're making a lot of money. So, Ford is the only Detroit 3 automaker that breaks out their EV segment. And so they're expecting to lose $4.5 billion on their EV sales this year. And so you compare that to the profits that Tesla's making. Tesla, obviously, pure play EV company, and the Detroit 3 now slowing their development pipeline of EVs. That's going to really widen Tesla's advantage over the competition. So this, if anything, this story has really, our outlook has really improved over the last 3 months with what's happening, over the long term. That the stock's gonna, continue to be volatile as it always is, but the long-term story has just gotten stronger in our view.
That's quite interesting to hear. A Wall Street analyst basically saying that Tesla's long-term case has actually gotten stronger in the long term, despite all of these price cuts. So many people are focusing on the price cuts and they don't see the future. Now, I expected a lot of these price cuts. If I look at my valuation model, I still expect many more in the future. And just think about what happened recently. The energy margins are now better than automotive margins. Tesla is clearly working a lot on the Tesla bot. They have a night shift. A night shift. And also, how committed of an engineer do you have to be for you to want to work at night? This is the kind of people that Tesla's culture can attract. Good luck to Ford or GM or some other company like that who wants to attract top talent like that. It's just not gonna happen. And then finally, we saw FSD version 12, and that approach, you can't replicate that approach without having an insane amount of data. And Tesla is much better positioned at collecting more data than anyone else in the world. So yeah, now that it is clear that the end-to-end approach is the way, no one can do it much better than Tesla. So now if Tesla doesn't even have the best engineers, Tesla will still win because no one else has this much data. You can replicate a ChatGPT because everyone has access to all of the internet, but only Tesla has so much access to data that can be used for full self-driving. By joining my Patreon, you will get access to how much I think it is fair to pay per Tesla share each year between 2023 and 2033. If you sign up for the investor tier of support, you will also get my valuation model of Tesla stock with a 45-minute video walkthrough. And YouTube says you should watch this video next, but if you haven't finished watching that discussion about the future with Elon Musk, watch this one first. My name is Matt Posius. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.